Hello, family, and welcome back to Redefine the Podcast. I am your host, Dee McCoy, and I am here with two special guests. Introduce yourself.
My name is Michaela. I am going to be a senior in the fall, and I am the current Black Student Union president at my high school.
And that's my baby, y'all. That's my baby.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Deja. I ran as BSU president for the past 2 years at my high school. I will be an incoming freshman at Howard University this fall.
Yes. Okay. So it was really important for me to, when I started recording these podcasts, I felt like I couldn't put them out right away because there was so much going on. And one thing that I felt like wasn't happening was I didn't really see people talking to Generation Z. And this is them. Michaela is 17, Deja is 18, and they have some awesome views. They cover, every week they have a BSU on live Instagram meeting, and they discuss current events. They discuss current events in our community, which is huge. Not only are they having these conversations, but they're having it with other kids their age. There's a ton of viewers. People go back and they repost it, and I felt like this is a great starting place. So here we are today. All right, guys, where are we starting? I'll start. What do you think about what's going on right now? What do you feel about, let's say, the riots and the protest?
So how I've been feeling about it lately, I feel it's a bittersweet thing. It's hard to understand like why we still are doing this in the year we are at. We're in 2020 and we're still having to fight for the basic right to live. Mm-hmm. And it hurts knowing that that's what I, as a person my age, felt for a long time was something we passed but have to continue to fight for. But at the same time, I am appreciative of seeing how much support there is out there and how much people are standing up for the cause and how much change is actually happening, especially for these past weeks with all the different laws that are being created regarding police brutality, such as in New York having the ban on chokeholds and things like that.
And Michaela, what do you think?
I agree with Deja. I think that for a long time, none of this was real. Like, you would read about it in history books, read about the civil rights movement, segregation, slavery, but I feel like I was very privileged because I never had to live through that and understand what our ancestors had to go through. But now, like she said, it's very bittersweet because for me, it's like it sucks that this is happening and it sucks that we have to witness this all over again when this should have been something that was already settled and done for and we should be moving forward. But then I also love it because I get to be a part of something that's this great. This movement is it's very powerful, and I like that I'm growing up to see it and be a part of it. So yeah.
So would you consider this like just simply a Black Lives Matter movement, or would you consider it like a civil rights part 2 movement?
This is part 2. This is numero dos. Actually,
what do you guys think?
What do you think?
I have complicated feelings. Like, okay, knowing how Black lives and Black people have always been in the forefront of civil rights for all, it's almost as if we're fighting with other minorities as well.
No, yeah.
That's how I've been viewing it.
When you mean fighting with other minorities, what do you mean?
Growing up, I felt like I've always noticed that there's a competition. Who's more oppressed?
Right, okay. Yeah.
And we use our history back and forth with each other. Like, well, I'm ancestor of a slave. I'm the ancestor of immigrant parent. I have ancestors who are immigrants. And my land was stolen from me. And I feel like, I think movements need to be created for each group. I think we're fighting for different things at this point. The civil rights movement, to me, was something general for everyone to be touched by, but now we need to start addressing the things that are hurting each community and having our own things to fix.
See, and I kind of feel like I like the idea of everything being under an umbrella because I feel like I strongly feel if Black people don't have rights, brown people don't have rights, Asian people don't have rights, gay people don't have rights. Like, I kind of feel like they're all together because
they're minorities.
Because they're minorities. And because white people put you all together. Like, they say, like, well, I'm sending them black people back, the Mexicans back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I feel like we're under one umbrella, and I think it's super cool to see black and brown people especially come together and say, like, we're here for you. Like, we got this. Because normally when there's beef, right, it's between black and Mexicans.
Well, no, but what I've seen, though, is a lot of, like, we're fighting for Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden you have people, Latinos, they're coming and they're like, they're kind of bashing it. Have you seen it on social media? Like, it's kind of like this feud now. And then I also hate that when we're fighting for Black lives, people take it they kind of discredit what we're going through sometimes. I've seen, especially on social media, like, they'll be like, well, we're going through this, and I don't like that. So I get the umbrella, but then it's also like, you can't try to discredit what others are going through at the same time, because I feel like that's what I've also been seeing happen, like, a lot. Mm-hmm. People are arguing, and that's what doesn't really sit well with me.
So do you think that they're arguing because... Do you think it's an argument more of like, okay, like Daisha said, well, who's more oppressed? Or is it like, hey, we're going through this and no one is bringing attention to it, and our people are suffering as well. And so that's why these topics are being brought up.
But it shouldn't have to be a fight. Like, that's what I feel like. It shouldn't have to be an argument. Like, I understand that other people are going through things as well, but it should not be like we have to have a conflict to get that point across. Like, we see people, just like when there's the movements against ICE, Black people were there supporting as well, at the forefront. Or when you had with the coronavirus, and Donald Trump was like, oh, it's a Chinese virus, and Asian Americans felt very discriminated against. Black people were the ones working to make sure that they felt comfortable and know that that was incorrect. Like, we're always fighting for them. So then now when you have something like the Black Lives Matter movement, and people are trying to start conflict or discredit what we're going through or make it all about them, it's like, well, we've been here for you. Right. So now it's time to be here for us at the same time.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. I mean, I'm on social. Yeah, I was say I haven't been on social media like probably you guys are, but I feel like I have seen the people that I know, like, they're standing for the Black Lives Matter movement. They're standing for police brutality. They're standing for, they're really trying. To me, I've seen that, but maybe that's in your generation.
No, the younger people are wild.
They don't like
wild.
It.
Well, y'all, let me say this. Y'all generation is going, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all gonna create some change, but y'all gonna tear some shit up too, because y'all are, it's like 0 to Zoom with you guys. There's no middle. So y'all either turned up over here, being an activist over here, and then you got the people in the middle that follow the trends. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. So anyways, going off topic. What do we just discovered, or we just discussed what Black Lives Matter, I guess?
Yeah, the versus other, like, who's oppressed or who's more oppressed.
What do you guys think of, I don't know if you've seen the video on Instagram of the trans woman getting beat by a group of Black men. Now, I seen the other day on Instagram, someone posted, like, you shouldn't say Black trans lives matter. And I was really taken back, because I'm like, oh damn, like they said basically, they shouldn't pinpoint a kind of person. I'll tell you if I agree or if I don't agree. But what do you guys, Daisha, what do you think?
Well, coming from a household where I'm being raised by 2 lesbian women, I've always been in support of the LGBTQ plus community. So I think within the Black community as a whole, there's a lot of stigma that comes with being within that community, and hate. It's almost like a fear of being this intersectional.
Like gay can rub off on you.
Yeah.
It's like a disease.
It's like the coronavirus.
Yeah. Right. Or just the fear of having intersectional minority.
Right.
Like, you can be a Black woman who's a part of the LGBTQ community and you're experiencing all these different things, not just by your opposing race, but by people in your community who don't agree with your quote unquote lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I feel like not to say Black trans lives matter is almost like saying all lives matter when it comes to the Black lives matter. It is.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. Because because people say all lives matter, and then we say, well, Black lives matter because we know all lives matter, but we're saying Black lives matter because you treat our lives as if they don't. Mm-hmm. And then we have to say Black trans lives matter or Black gay lives matter or whatever because those lives are treated as if they don't matter.
Right.
That's by all. So we have to say that. And I have strong beliefs about this because I feel like they're oppressed just like we are. They have their they get spit on. Is that the way you say it? Spat on, spit on? I don't know. Beat, killed.
And they get killed in high numbers, and they're not talked about.
Yeah. So how can we be so oppressed and we can be so hated by everybody in America, and then we turn around and do the same thing to other people? Right. That's not fair.
Of our community.
And you can't say Black Lives Matter. It's like, you can't say Black lives matter, but these Black lives don't matter. So only these Black, like if you're Black, straight, and Black, straight, and this and that, then you matter. But then if you're Black, trans, and no, you can't do that. If you're gonna say Black lives matter, then Black lives matter.
Right. No matter what. Collectively, that's anybody.
That's not,
I agree with that. So I definitely agree with saying Black trans lives matter, because when I saw that video, I literally cried because I couldn't, like, nobody wanted to help her. They were calling her while they were beating her up, but they was calling her nigga too. Like, they were beating her like a man. And so I was really taken back. And even the store owners, I kind of felt like they were involved, but I didn't feel like they were involved because it was the right thing to do. I don't think they want their store tore up.
Right.
And that was like, I'm like, damn, come on, y'all. Like,
but the person recording is what's getting me. You're the worst of it all. You watched it, posted it, and nobody's questioning that person. Like,
so let's talk about that. The recordings, the cameramen of 2020. Now, yes, they are doing some great works of you caught George Floyd's murder happened. But my God, if somebody was on your neck, do not record my baby crying for me.
Just standing there.
Like just recording. There's no like, yeah, she was talking like, oh my God, okay, I get it. I don't even know what you can do. Like, was that the best that they could have done? Because I feel like everybody that was there was like actively like, stop. And you can't intervene with the police.
Right.
But if you see my child getting killed or you see me, I feel like, please, sir, step in.
Right.
Step in. So what do you guys think of the camera people?
I feel some are just and some are just like, you just want to post it on social media. Because when we talk about the person who recorded George Floyd's murder, that was a 17-year-old girl. How is she gonna come up to the 3 police officers that are laying on him, putting their knees in his back and his neck, and try to stop it, knowing that her life could just as well be killed, just like Breonna Taylor's was.
That's right.
So that's one way recording does benefit, because you've seen how an injustice was happening and it exposed it so it can get fixed. Right. And that's why we're having these riots right now, or these protests, whatever you want to call it. But when you have the power to say that's not right and end it, then you didn't serve that person any justice.
That's right.
I think it's a hard place, because it's like you said, you can't. What can you do to the police? Like, you can't do nothing to them, because then you're equally at risk. Who's gonna I think
step in for you?
Right, who's gonna step in for me? And so it's like, how much can you really do? It's not like when you're at school and you see somebody getting jumped, so you gonna run in and try to help them. It's like, no, these are the police officers. They could shoot me. They could do whatever they want to do to me. Right. And then I'll get in trouble because I'm assaulting a police officer. Like,
well, okay, so there's another video that I just recently saw. I don't know, I reposted it, so maybe you guys seen it. But there's a little black boy. He has to be no older than 14. And the police officer grabs him by his neck. He's the only black boy in his group. He grabs him by the neck and he kind of like shoves him on the car. And the boy recording starts screaming like, no, don't do that. And his white friend goes and he slaps the police officer's hand. And they're like about to, the police officer has to call for backup because the group of white kids is about to like
That's what I'm talking about.
That's called losing your privilege for good.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
They're about to whoop this police officer's ass, and you see him like, I'll take you to jail. And it's like, he says it like 3 times. And literally it's like, take me to jail.
Take me to
And he's like, don't touch him like that. Don't touch him like that. And I was like,
that's so sad.
Oh my gosh. Even the little boy on the camera was screaming like.
He was just scared, but he could not do that too. He could not be a part of it.
But I just thought that was, the camera people, I thought that was an awesome thing to see. And these kids were young.
It's so crazy because I feel like, I don't know that anybody at my school would do that for me.
They probably wouldn't.
They probably, and it's so rare. I mean, maybe because they're his friends, so they do it. But the kids let me not expose my high school.
Right. At Kennedy High School in La Palma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure
La Palma,
the news
California.
hear this.
Right. Hello. No, it's hard to believe because you never know that people have that in them. I'm sure he did not know his friends was going to do that.
No.
But I don't know that the kids that where I go.
You know what though? Going to school in Orange County, you are 1%. The black students are 1% of the school population. That means you are in a class of 30. It is just you.
It's
For real. Like, it's not even no joke. Like, it's just you.
It is just you. And as like a black educator, that's why I won't leave Orange County. Now people will be like, oh, you don't want to leave Orange County because the perks and I don't give a damn. LA County got perks. Riverside County got perks. It is what it is.
Whatever county.
But I feel that in Orange County, because that's also where I went to school, there's no black educators.
Right.
I had one in my whole education career. From elementary to high school, I had one black teacher. He wasn't even my teacher. He was just a teacher on campus. Shout out to Mr. Reed.
Yeah. I like Coach Reed.
And so I feel like it's very big for students to see people of color in education. It's very important for them to see us out of where I come from. Like mom was on drugs, dad wasn't helpful, brother was in jail. We come from a family of chaos and confusion, honey.
All the time.
But I feel like it's important for kids to see us. And that's why I feel like you guys I feel like I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Kids, minority students, black students, the 1% of you guys always get treated differently in school.
I think that is a whole different story. Treated differently is not even we are treated bad. Okay?
Bad, terribly.
We're treated bad. But
okay,
I think
that's important. Let's talk about that.
Well, let's talk about
let's talk about dress code.
My God,
honey, don't have
no size because the little white girl could walk down the hallway with her shorts looking like panties, but then you walk down with your biker shorts to your knees. Excuse me, go to the office.
Yeah,
like you can't wear anything because of what your body looks like, and it's not even that. I mean, I was threatened to get jumped by a group of white boys and nobody even Deanna contacted my school. They did not reach back out to her. No, nothing was said. I was called a nigger and told to go back to my homeland and nothing was said about that. All types of things happen and they don't do anything.
Listen,
and if
I was waiting for their asses too.
If we say anything, we're angry, we're confrontational,
yes.
We're a threat.
Yes.
I don't know, Deja, your experiences are similar.
The fact that I've had experience almost exactly similar to Michaela's, and I'm a whole different person.
Right.
Because it happens frequently. Like, I've had people throw rocks at my head and shout things like white power. And it was a Deja, if you ever get mad the way you did again, you're going to get suspended.
Right.
Because I didn't have the right to be mad at people trying to threaten me and put me down.
And that's why there has to be black educators in Orange County. Because
representation matters.
Representation matters. And even as, but even as a black employee, okay,
you're treated differently.
You get treated differently. Now, luckily for me, my principal at my school loves me. The teacher that I work with loves me. But I coached basketball this year, and my girls were playing they were playing. And we went and played against Buena Park Junior High. And Buena Park Junior High girls, they were rough. They weren't that good. My girls wasn't that good either. And they end up starting to get ready to fight. And when the fight almost broke out, I was the first person on the court. Told my girl, get her ass off the court. She was done. I was on it. The conversation I had with my girls was, they were crying. I told them, you didn't sign up to play ballet. You signed up to play ball. So ball up. Be aggressive. Don't play dirty, but be aggressive. That's what I told my girls. Mm-hmm. The next day I get to school and my girls run to me and they say, this particular teacher went to the office because they said you told us to fight.
Gotta go.
And was encouraging violence.
I was encouraging violence. No. How could I tell the girls to fight? And I was going to be ethnic. And I was going to be ethnic, and I was going to go to her classroom during instruction. And I said, you know what? Let me go to the office first. And I spoke to my principal, and she's like, listen, I already know you're good. Like, I know that you would never.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't. But you know what? For you, go approach her. I said, for sure. So I went and I stood outside her classroom. And I stood there. And when I finally spoke to her, I said, you said that because I'm young and I'm black.
Right.
And you thought that I would tell my girls that.
Right.
But I've never given you the opportunity, I've never given you anything to think. Because I am young and black, that I would tell my girls to go fight anywhere.
That's all you expect of me.
That's what you expected of me. And she said, oh my God, Miss McCoy, I would never say that to you. I would never. And I'm like, no. That's what you did. And so even as a black employee of the school district, you go through those things. There's been so many times where I'm like, okay, don't be the angry black woman, because I can't just be angry. I got to be angry and black.
Right. And like I said, representation matters, because until we have black admin, you have people on the school boards, whatever, teachers, there's nobody that's going to be sticking up for nobody. They're not. There's nobody sticking up for the black students. Nobody explaining where we're from or how we're not. Deanna, she always tells us we're not raised the same. We don't get treated like it's not the same. Like, we need somebody to stand up for us and to be our voice, because at the end of the day, these other people in power, especially in the education system, don't know. Like, they can't relate to us, so they don't cater to us either.
Well, that's like even with what the things that they say, where like little Eric he's emotionally unstable, and he's emotional, and then Deja is angry. She's mad. Like even the wording is different. And if there is nobody there, y'all just angry. And sometimes sometimes I talk to my kids. I'm like, listen, my goddaughter went to school with us. Sanaya, get your shit together, because these white people will suspend you.
Yes, they
will. I have to pull these kids in.
Conversation.
We have this teacher at our school that me and Deja both had, and we both have identical. Yes. Wait. We both have identical experiences with her. She told there was a day I had her for second period. In first period, we had this heated conversation about like the Harlem Renaissance and all this stuff in our class. And I came out that class, my first period, heated, because the people were
subliminally racist.
Yeah, they were being racist, and I was upset. So I went to her class, and it was very clear that I was upset. And she was like, "Michaela, you need to calm down,
Right.
Michaela.
The
you
hands.
can't be calm,
Hands
like the
up.
2 hands. You need to calm down. You can't be that angry. You need, like, this is not right. And she's like, and I'm not even saying anything. I'm just sitting there in my frustration. And she's like, you, anytime you come in her class and you're a black student and you're upset, it's like she's like scared, level 10 threatened, you're doing too much, like you, like, do you need to step outside, like, and she really, over nothing, you could just be sitting there quiet. And I just looked at her, and then after that, a few minutes later, she came back and she's like, you know what, I'm so sorry. She's ridiculous. Like, or she, Deja will probably speak about it too, but she just be saying, you could talk about the dot and, you know.
So, you know how earlier we talked about how black people like to stick up for other minorities because we know how it feels.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
there was a conversation about I was talking to the teacher, and I have a lot of Indian American kids in my class, and I was explaining how being from India and being Native American is not the same thing. You
Two different
can
things.
not call
Okay.
Native Americans Indian because that's not what they are. Indians are Indian.
Right.
Native Americans are
From
Native American.
India.
Yeah.
Or from India. Like,
I don't know if this is some Arkansas thing she learned, but she decided to put her thumb in the middle of her eyebrows as if she was, you know, the religious circle that
Little red dot.
Yes, that some Indian cultures do. And then she said dot, and then put her hand up like if she was making feathers on her head and said feather, like dot or feather.
dot or feather Indian is what she asked.
I was the only one disturbed.
The classroom.
But that shows you how used to people, like how used,
They're so old. They
like
don't know.
they're like
That is
they're
wrong.
used to it.
Like, you do that.
You can't say that. Like,
You can ask.
As
you
the authoritarian in the classroom.
gonna ask, are you talking about dot or feather Indians? Ma'am, what? What are you doing?
And thought it was funny.
And she giggling, bro. Like she.
And don't let me get a blonde wig. I'm appropriating her culture.
oh no, is that what
yes,
she said?
yes, she did. No, yes, she did. She said that appropriating her culture.
Mind you, this is after one of me and Michaela's BSU meetings about cultural appropriation, because now this is her favorite topic with me.
Her favorite topic. Oh my gosh. And we had a meeting about something, and we tried to bring up the fact that about this, we tried to talk about this teacher at our meeting, just to our club, and our supervisor was like, oh no, don't talk about her. Like, he was like
That
defending
protection,
her.
that
Protecting her. So we weren't even allowed to discuss what these black students were going through. And we were shut down because the teacher wanted to protect the other teacher, so we could not discuss our experiences. And Kennedy High School, they need to get it together.
Period.
We had to
Okay.
go to the principal's office to talk about that. But
Okay, so we have covered so far. Let's backtrack. Well, we kind of covered a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is something? Let me go back to the riots. I watched a video, and there was a lady discussing 3 kinds of people. There's protesters.
okay,
There's rioters. Is that a word? People
Yes.
who riot. And then there are looters. In you guys' experience dealing with your friends and whatnot, have you seen anybody like
oh my God,
what do you guys think of that?
Some of these young African American men,
these young black boys.
they half of them is really taking advantage of the situation, and I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, I don't care. They just don't know.
I'm gonna say
That's how
75%.
Yeah, let's be real.
I saw a post where these boys were making an invitation to go to
Like a party.
to no, like it was
A
like a
party.
party invitation, and it was like to like somewhere, some shopping center, and they said we're gonna have a loot and run. Where they all come together as one and
Ruth.
loot and run.
Okay, so when you guys see these things, do you say anything? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Do you say anything?
Oh, yes. I got in an argument with the boy because I was like, is this really what you're going to do? Like, we're sitting up here fighting for you. This is all starting over black men and the police brutality towards them first. Mm-hmm. Right. And we're fighting for you, but you going to take advantage of it? Mm-hmm. I said, that's ridiculous. Like, how dare you? And he's like, well, if you got the opportunity, I'm doing it because this is an opportunity that I have. If you got the opportunity to kill Donald Trump, wouldn't you do it? And I was like, no, because that's wrong. Not right. It's wrong. Like, just because I have the opportunity to do something wrong doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. Right. But they're like taking it as if you know we can steal and get all these things, so let us do it. Since nobody's watching us, they think they're gonna. The problem is they associate it with the Black Lives Matter movement or with the George Floyd. They associate it with that. So now when people like young black boys, whosoever it is out there looting, it's under the cover of this movement, which is really not fair.
Well, then I feel like it takes away from the men that are out there really standing for us. Right. Because I have some male friends where, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know it was in them. Glenn, Mosaic. I've seen so many people out there, and they're creating these environments for people to come and stand and speak and whatever. And I'm like, damn, when they start looting, damn.
It just gives another opportunity for them to destroy the image again.
Yes.
Like, it's just so odd. And I feel like it's kind of this, like, in my family, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other families, there's this, like, crabs in a barrel, like, syndrome. And I feel like it runs so deep that some, especially young African-American men, don't realize because you don't have a lot, they don't understand it's connected to their skin color. And they don't, so when they take advantage of these things, they're, again, not thinking about how that's affecting how people look at them. They're thinking, I need to fix my situation right now. So then it just perpetuates it.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I feel like that's a good point, because lack will make you do things that you never thought you would do. Like, I know that women that are prostitutes, when they were 10, never thought they would be prostitutes. Right. But there was a lack that happened in their lives where it was like, well, shit, I gotta do this. So now use this for, the people that are looting. There's a lack of something. There's a lack of common sense. There's a lack of can't buy no shoes. There's a lack of I'm going to sell this and I'm going to sell it because I can help my mother pay rent because there's the coronavirus. She ain't getting no unemployment. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, there's a lack. And so it's like we as adults really need to start pouring into you guys, because it has to be... It has to be more than like, yes, George Floyd died and he was murdered, or he was this or he was that. Okay, we understand that. But now we got to talk to our sons and our daughters like, listen, this is your time to figure out what path you want to take. Do you want to be an activist? Do you want to be a person that sits on the sidelines? Or do you want to be a person that brings no help and only tears down?
I mean, and here's the thing. So you have the people that are looting and stuff, and it's like people already look at black men as threats. They already think they're thugs. They already think that they're thieves. They already think all these things. So then when you go out and loot, you're confirming the stereotype. Every single time you do something like that, we're actively fighting to be like, black men aren't thugs, black men aren't this, black men are worthy of this, or they deserve all these things. But then you have some black men going out, boys, my bad, sorry, black boys going out and completely contradicting what our argument, and then confirming. So then now the white people, the people in power, they have stuff to talk about. Well, during this time you had these people doing this, and it confirms it, and it sets us farther back.
And you know what I mean? And I love all people. But I will say a lot of what we were seeing also were done by
not
people outside of our race.
Almost against us.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was a setup.
Sabotage.
I felt like
yeah, they were.
I felt like it was a setup. Like, you gonna come out here with your Black Lives Matter stuff, and you gonna be out here protesting with us, and then y'all hitting the windows in with the skateboard.
Right.
Hold on.
The skateboard.
Like, hold on.
Because the Minnesota population ain't full of black folk.
Right.
So what are we seeing?
And
that's
my thing.
I think I was watching the news with Deanna, or Deanna might have been in the kitchen, but she had put on the news, and I was watching, like, the headline was like Black Lives Matter rioters or something like that. And there was these rioters, quote unquote, you assume they're black people, but I see a group of Caucasian teenagers pushing over a police cop car, but it was under like the Black Lives Matter, like it was as if it was for us. And once again, it makes us look bad. Like they said, it's like sabotage. Like, here you got everybody. If you weren't paying attention to the broadcast like I was, you probably just would have assumed, once again, it was some angry black people trying to do something to the police, but it wasn't even us that time.
Oh, but how about the countless number of videos that I seen of like black women, black men saying stop,
right?
Like, don't do that. That's not why we are here. And I'm like, God damn. They're not showing that on the news. They're not showing that there's a woman standing in front of Target telling the people, you better not. They're only showing the Target being broken into and saying that it was looted. But I mean, well, I don't know if Target was broken into. I might go take a look around. No,
we talked about the news coverage on.
He did. That was another one.
That was another.
Okay, so what was
media?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
real life versus the media.
Yeah. So we were talking about different media outlets portray, because they have different political motives. First off, Black Lives Mattering is not a political thing. It's a yes or no. Do you agree or do you not agree?
Right.
I don't understand how people can really shift that to be political. For example, one Fox News anchor basically was like, they won't tell you that white people also die at the hands of police because it skews their narrative. It destroys their agenda. And you saying this on national television.
First of
all,
all,
what do you think of the comment?
Somebody needs to cancel Fox News.
One.
You sound like Trump Jr. over. Don't play.
So when it was like canceled social media. Yeah.
I felt that it was typical. Like, Fox is always saying something crazy.
Right.
But I was just like, no wonder people go to you. You affirm things in their head.
Think, yeah.
Because just the idea that the news said it makes people think, okay, then I can say it too.
Right.
So you're pushing an agenda. That's probably why Donald likes you so much, Donnie.
Young Don.
Don.
But I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Deja was the first person to like show me that the bias in the news. Like, I never once, like, I question the news, like, you don't believe everything you see on TV or on social media, but then I never really sat back and questioned what they were saying or looked at different news outlets. Like, it was beyond me to hear the things that Fox News was saying about the Black Lives Matter movement or about LeBron James, like all the things they were saying. I never ever like saw that before. And I mean, my mom, she always watched CNN, so I never even looked. Any other news outlets was nothing to me. I never paid attention to them until now. But I think it's important that we do show that, because there's a lot of people that are going to these news stations and looking to them for information, and it's false information, biased information. They're not showing it like what it is.
Yes. Okay.
Especially to youth that are impressionable. Right. Like white people, white
children.
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
You know what I think would be super cool, or this is like a whole different direction. Sesame Street had like a town hall on CNN. I feel like that was more for parents, but that's another conversation. I think what would be super cool is that if people that you guys listen to came together and had a town hall for you guys. Like, I feel like that would be so
Can
dope.
we get into that?
Can we get
into what is that?
it?
Oh, did I touch your nerve?
You
Tell
did.
me.
They don't care. They just want their white friends to like them.
Exactly. We tried. We had, once again, there's so many experiences at our school. We had this experience where it was Black History Month. We have school news, whatever,
right.
and basically the school news for the month of February did not cover Black History Month. And we went to the advisor. He said there was nothing he could do about it, that he gives his students full creative power to do what they want. And if they didn't want to cover Black History Month, they didn't have to. And he dismissed, he called it what we were saying complaints. So we tried to we're like, you know what, if he won't, we went to the principal's office, you know, it was kind of like, okay, kind of helping, but we said, you know, we're gonna make our own like news, whatever, we're gonna make our own news video, we're gonna put the things out that we want to put out to our community. When we tried to get the Black students, the Black young people to come together, they did not want to.
They're scared almost.
Definitely.
To be proud of themselves.
Like, they're scared.
But that starts at home. That starts with, you know, kind of like skating by, making sure you don't ruffle no feathers, because you know, you scared of what can happen if you ruffle. Now, like in Michaela's instance, one thing is you advocate for yourself. I say it to my 5-year-old as I say it to my 17-year-old. You advocate for yourself. If you don't like something, you say something, and if it's wrong, it's wrong, and if it's right, it's right. I don't give a shit. So maybe that's that too.
Well, I think like Deja said, they want their white friends to like them. Remind you, we go to a school where we're only 3%
at that particular
school, and 3% like literally is only one Black kid in the class, two Black kids in the class.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. I had a girl tell me that she couldn't be my friend because she was ashamed of how people would look at her. The Black kids, they're like, so at our school at least, they're so thirsty to fit in that when it comes to standing up for Black Lives Matter or joining the Black Student Union Club, they don't want to do it because of how other people look at them. And that's our problem right now.
It makes it difficult too, because honestly, me and Michaela are the only people that really will be like, what you say?
On campus, like the only people.
We're the only people, and it makes it difficult because you in a class and there's that one other Black person, you like, stand up, right? Yeah, like that wasn't right? And they're just sitting there with their eyes down. And it makes other people look at you like well, she's not mad.
Yeah, right. Deja and I go around campus looking crazy to people. Like, people will say some racist stuff and do some really horrible things on that campus. And if we and Deja say something, everybody will look at us like we're the one that just did it. Like, we're crazy. Like,
that's so unfortunate.
For standing up for what's right, because nobody wants to say anything. People are scared.
I feel like a town hall for you guys would be cool. Like, get a whole bunch of celebrities. Like, they use Sesame Street because all kids love Sesame Street, but you know what I'm saying, like, get some celebrities and get them on TV and talk about the same things that they did for the Sesame Street people, the Sesame Street little people, and have it for you guys. What is empathy? What is the Black Lives Matter movement? What is white privilege? What is colorism? What is racism? And so, to me, they can be identifiable. So the kids can see it. Now, yes, everyone should know what racism is. We should know what it looks like. We should know what it is. But in the event that you don't, let's take the stance that everybody doesn't know.
Yeah.
And let's educate them. And what better way to use than people they love? Now, we all know they love Black culture.
Very much.
So get some people that they love in Black culture to come together and start these town halls, and then put it on the TV and have these kids say, okay, well, that's what they mean.
You're giving away our ideas to the public.
I'm just saying. Stupid. No. I'm just saying, I think that that's big. I feel like we need to educate the youth and the people that don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why me and Deja are doing what we do as far as the videos, because the school year is over. We don't have any obligation to have any more meetings, to do anything. But I think it's important that we're creating these conversations, because people our age don't have them and they need to be educated. And it's hard, like we said, it's hard for us to get people to listen to us, to whatever, but we're definitely getting a larger audience now, and we're really, really pushing for it, because it's definitely needed. There can't be no change without the education behind it.
Okay, so we're coming to an end. Now, at the end of my podcast, I like to have 3 things that you would like to see, 3 tips, three things to leave people with. So, who wants to go first? I'm putting you on the spot. But it can be 3 together. It could be 3. It could be 3 together. It can be 3 separate.
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
if you're gonna be pro-black, you have to be pro-black. You don't get the opportunity to pick and choose who you want to be pro-black for.
Okay.
2, if you're an ally, that doesn't mean take the movement in your direction. Just follow along and use your privilege to help out.
Okay. Well, you got to have a third one.
3, I seen this yesterday on social media, and I thought it was interesting. A lot of times we talk about, well, I'm this way because I was raised like that. But there's so many things your parents do that you don't like and you're able to change. And you say, I'm not going to be like that. But racism shouldn't be the one thing you just decide, I ain't going to change.
Right.
Right.
Change the narrative.
Yes. I think that my first thing... I'm touching my nose. My first thing is, if you are young and you're black, especially, it's important to educate yourself. And if you are a parent of a young black individual, educate them, because even if you think they're learning it at school, they're not. And if you think they're learning it on social media, it's the wrong stuff. So educate them, because that's why you have these black boys and these black girls going going into the world not knowing as much as they could, and going through these things that we are, and it really hitting us in a way that it shouldn't be.
Right.
We need people to guide us, especially the adults in our lives, because we are the future generation. If y'all don't notice or not, we are the future. So we need that help. Like, let me see. Numero dos. Look, like I said earlier, all Black lives matter. Not just Black straight lives. That's my thing. I find that really important. You may or may not disagree with me, but I feel like if you're gonna preach all like Black lives matter, have it be all Black lives matter. And please do not hit us with no all lives matter, because we never said all lives didn't matter. We just said Black lives matter, and we need that to be known, because they're treated as if they are not. And third, I think, keep it going. Don't allow this to just be a 2-week thing, a 3-week thing, or something that you find trendy, so you just keep it pushing because that's what people are doing, and when they stop, you stop. This is a continuous issue. It has been happening for hundreds of years before us, and it will probably continue. So don't let your activism, don't let your voice, don't let any of that stop now, because like I said, continuous issues needs continuous support, and continuous recognition. Like, so keep doing what y'all doing. If y'all gotta protest, riot, I guess, if that's how you feel.
Pick your lane.
Pick your lane of activism, but don't stop, because it's helping someone,
You guys were so awesome. Oh my goodness. Last but not least, I believe that we should listen to our kids. Give them the freedom to speak. Give them the freedom to ask questions. Give them that and educate them. Netflix has a whole, I want to say, a category of Black history now. And it's hard. It's hard because you want to protect your kids. We have our own beliefs on it. But if we simply remember that our kids are stronger than we think, they are definitely smarter than we think, and they are exposed to more than we know, we can meet them on a level where you can pour into me and I can pour into you, and we can build up a generation that does great things, that moves mountains. So that's it. I am D. McCoy. This is
Deja.
And this is
Mookie.
And that's it. Redefine the podcast. I cannot wait to share another moment with you. Bye, y'all. Deuces.